Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. These words from Scripture reveal the greatest secret ever told. For your consciousness, your awareness, your assumption is the only reality. The world that appears outside of you is nothing more than the outpicturing of your essence made visible. What you are experiencing now, at this very moment, is simply the harvest of seeds previously planted in the fertile soil of your imagination. Tonight, I shall reveal to you the divine art of assumption, the method by which you may act as if you already possess that which you desire, and through this assumption, command the invisible forces of creation to reshape your world according to your will. The law of assumption. The first and most fundamental truth I wish to impress upon you is this: assumption, though false, if persisted in, will harden into fact. Let me repeat that eternal principle: assumption, though false, if persisted in, will harden into fact. What does this mean? It means that when you assume you are what you want to be, and continue in that assumption, you will become it in this physical world. When you assume you have what you desire, and persist in that feeling, it must externalize itself in your experience. This is not magic, not some mystical phenomenon separate from the natural laws of the universe. This is the very process of creation itself, the same process by which all that exists came into being. In the beginning was the Word. The Word, consciousness, imagination, assumption precedes all manifestation. Your physical senses tell you what is, but your imagination tells you what can be. And in the realm of creation, what can be imagined as real becomes real in your world. The secret of imagining, I tell you, is the greatest of all problems, to the solution of which the mystic aspires. When you grasp that your consciousness is the one and only reality, you will know that the world you experience is determined by the concept you hold of yourself. Change your concept of self, and you change your world. The creative power of your assumption. Let me illustrate this principle with a simple truth. There is no difference between imagining and what you call reality, except in degree of vividness. The world you perceive is not caused by what exists external to you. Rather, what appears external to you is caused by your state of consciousness. The world, as Neville has often told you, is a mirror wherein everyone sees himself reflected. The conditions and activities of your life are the direct reproduction of your inner states. Nothing appears by chance. Your assumption, your feeling, your dominant state externalizes itself. As within, so without. Consider the words found in Scripture. What things soever ye desire, when ye pray, believe that ye receive them, and ye shall have them. This is not a promise of some future attainment. It is the revelation of an immediate possession. Believe that you receive them now in the present moment. This is the secret of acting as if. You must assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, not tomorrow, not next week, not when circumstances appear favorable, but now. In the absence of physical evidence, in the face of contradictory appearances, you must dare to assume the feeling of already being, already having that which you seek to manifest. For the feeling is the secret, the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Your feeling is your faith, and according to your faith is it done unto you. The assumption of the wish fulfilled. The technique is simple, though its implications are profound. You must first clarify in your mind exactly what you would feel if you were already the person you wish to be, if you already possess that which you desire to possess. Then, having identified this feeling, you must enter into it completely. You must saturate your consciousness with it. You must think from the end, not of the end. This distinction is crucial. To think from the end is to assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. It is to experience now what you would experience then. Let me share with you a technique that has proven most effective. Each night as you lie in your bed, just before sleep claims you, assume that you are already that which you wish to be. Feel the naturalness of it. Feel the reality of it. Feel the solidity of it. Then fall asleep in this state. In sleep, man is shut out from the world of the senses. In sleep, his conscious, reasoning mind is no longer active. In this state, your assumption will sink deep into the subconscious, where all changes must first occur before they can manifest in your outer world. What thou seest that thou be, as you fall asleep feeling yourself to be a particular person, you will awaken being that person. While men slept, his enemy came and sowed tares among the wheat. Sleep in the assumption of your wish fulfilled and allow no negative thoughts, no tares to be sown in the fertile field of your subconscious mind. The law of reversibility. There exists in nature what I call the law of reversibility. This law states that by consciously assuming the feeling of that which you wish to be or to have, and persisting in that assumption, you will experience in the outer world the conditions implied in that assumption. If I desire wealth, I must assume the feeling of wealth. If I desire health, I must assume the feeling of health. If I desire love, I must assume the feeling of being loved. Whatever state I assume and continue to occupy, that state I will objectify in my world. This law of reversibility is demonstrated throughout Scripture, though few have eyes to see it. Go thy way, thy son liveth. The father believed the words that Jesus spoke to him. He assumed health for his son, though his son was miles away and critically ill. And when he returned home, he found his son had been healed at the exact hour that Jesus had spoken to him. This is the law of reversibility in action. The feeling with faith objectifies itself. That is the law. What you feel, you attract. What you imagine with faith becomes your reality. The distinction between wishing and assuming. Mark well the distinction between wishing and assuming. To wish for something is to acknowledge that you do not possess it. It affirms lack, separation, and absence. To assume, however, is to appropriate the consciousness of already having that which you desire. It affirms possession, unity, and presence. Many pray to an external deity, begging for intervention, imploring for mercy or favor. But I tell you, the kingdom of God is within you. The creative power, the only God there is, exists within your own consciousness. Prayer is not begging. Prayer is not supplication. True prayer is assumption, the feeling of already being or having that which you desire. It is thanksgiving before the evidence of physical senses. It is faith, the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. When you pray, do not say, God, please give me this or that. Rather, feel, thank you, other, that I now have this or that. Feel the gratitude that would be yours if your desire were already fulfilled. This is the true meaning of, before they call, I will answer. The redemptive function of imagination. Imagination is not a state, it is the very existence of man. The eternal body of man is the imagination that is God himself. Your imagination is the very gateway to infinity, the portal through which the unmanifest becomes manifest. When you consciously direct your imagination, you are exercising the divine prerogative of creation. The world and all within it are phenomena of the imagination. Nothing exists outside of awareness. All that appears to you as reality first had to be conceived in someone's imagination. Your imagination is redemptive. Through it, you can be born anew, not of blood, nor of the will of the flesh, nor of the wish, but of God, of the creative consciousness that is your true identity. When you imagine yourself as the person you wish to be, and persist in that imagination until it feels natural to you, you are literally bringing about a rebirth of yourself. You are putting off the old man and putting on the new. This is not metaphor. This is the actual process of transformation, the natural use of the law. Now, let me address a concern that often arises when this law is first understood. Some fear that if imagination creates reality, then mankind might use this power for destructive purposes. But let me assure you, the law itself neutralizes all negative uses of the creative power. For to sustain an assumption, you must feel it to be natural. And no man can feel natural in a state that violates his innate sense of justice. You may temporarily enter into an unlovely assumption, but you cannot abide there. The tension between such an assumption and your divine nature will eventually force you to abandon it. The law itself ensures that in the end, only the good, the beautiful, and the true can endure. For only these states can be felt as natural to man, who in his essence is the image and likeness of God. When you use the law naturally, you use it lovingly. You do not seek to take from another or to harm another. You simply assume the consciousness of already being what you want to be, of already having what you want to have. And in that assumption, you discover that there is enough for all, that creation is infinite, that limitation exists only in the minds of those who believe in limitation. The sevenfold nature of man. Man is a sevenfold being. He has within him 7 states of consciousness, 7 levels of awareness. Most live their entire lives utilizing only the lowest 3, corresponding to the physical body, the vital energies, and the lower emotions. But the law of assumption calls upon you to activate the higher states, the heart center of divine love, the throat center of divine expression, the brow center of divine vision, and the crown center of a divine unity. As you ascend in consciousness through the power of assumption, these dormant centers awaken, bringing with them new faculties, new perceptions, and new powers. Be ye perfect, even as your Father in heaven is perfect. This command is not impossible of fulfillment. It is simply calling you to awaken to your true nature, to assume the feeling of being perfect, whole, complete, as God is. And as you persist in this assumption, the evidence of your transformation will appear in your world. The pruning shears of revision. If you have made mistakes in the past, if your life up to this point has not reflected the glory that you are capable of manifesting, do not despair, for you have at your disposal what I call the pruning shears of revision. Each night, before you sleep, review the events of your day, where you have fallen short. Revise the scene in your imagination. See it not as it occurred, but as you would have liked it to occur. Feel the naturalness of this revised version. Then, fall asleep in this revised state. The vision of Christ that thou dost see is my vision's greatest enemy. Do not accept the evidence of your senses as final. Do not bow before the dictates of memory. You have the power to revise the past in your imagination. And as you do, you rewrite the script of your life. What you revise in imagination with feeling, you experience in reality. This is not fantasy or escapism. This is the creative use of the one power that shapes all manifestation, your consciousness. The pearl of great price. The knowledge I share with you tonight is the pearl of great price, the treasure hidden in a field. It is worth selling all that you have, all your limiting beliefs, all your negative assumptions, all your fears and doubts, to possess it. For when you truly grasp the power of assumption, when you begin to consciously apply it in your life, you will discover that you are the author of your destiny, the creator of your universe. You will know with absolute certainty that the world you experience is simply your consciousness pushed out. I am the resurrection and the life. These words, attributed to Jesus, reveal the true identity of every man and woman. For the I am in you, your own wonderful human imagination, is the resurrection and the life. It can resurrect you from the grave of limitation and breathe new life into your circumstances. When you say, I am wealthy, I am healthy, I am loved, you are literally reshaping your reality according to these assumptions. For I am is God's name, the creative power of the universe. And whatever you attach to I am, you bind to your experience. The Sabbath of life. There comes a point in the application of the law where effort ceases. This is the Sabbath, the day of rest. When your assumption feels completely natural to you, when you no longer have to remind yourself to think from the end, when your new state has been fully accepted by your subconscious mind, then you have entered the Sabbath. In this state, manifestation occurs effortlessly. You do not make it happen. You allow it to happen. Having planted the seed of assumption in the fertile soil of your subconscious, you now watch it grow of its own accord. The kingdom of heaven is like a man who casts seed upon the ground and would sleep and rise night and day, and the seed would sprout and grow. He knows not how. This is the perfect description of the process. You cast the seed, your assumption. Then you sleep, you rest in the certainty that the seed will grow. And it does grow through a process that appears mysterious to the rational mind, but is perfectly natural to the acclimation imagination. The intervention of faith. Faith is essential to the successful application of the law of assumption. But faith is not something you acquire. It is something you acquire. Faith is simply the consciousness of already being or having what you desire. It is assumption sustained. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Your faith, your sustained assumption, is the actual substance of that which you desire. It is the evidence perceivable by your spiritual senses, though not yet by your physical senses, that your desire is already fulfilled. Many fail in the application of the law because they constantly check for external evidence. They plant the seed of assumption one moment, then dig it up the next to see if it has grown. This vacillation prevents the seed from taking root. Have faith in the unseen reality of your assumption. Know that the invisible always precedes the visible, that the ideal always precedes the actual, that the spiritual always precedes the material. Trust the process implicitly, and in divine timing, at an hour you think not, your assumption will harden into fact. The art of detachment. While persistence in your assumption is necessary, attachment to specific outcomes can hinder manifestation. This seems paradoxical, but it is a profound truth. You must assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, but then detach from how it will manifest. Detachment does not mean indifference. It means trusting in the perfect outworking of the law. It means surrendering the how to the infinite intelligence that orchestrates the universe. Your responsibility is the what, the assumption. The how belongs to God. My ways are not your ways, neither are my thoughts your thoughts. The bridge of incidents that leads from your present state to your desired state may not follow the path you would consciously choose, but it will be the perfect path, specifically designed for you by the wisdom of your own deeper self. Practice detachment by focusing solely on the feeling of the wish fulfilled, not on the process by which it will come about. Trust that once you have assumed the consciousness of already being, or having what you desire, the way will open before you. The cosmic response to the assumption. What happens when you successfully assume a new state of consciousness? The entire universe rearranges itself to accommodate your new concept of self. This is not hyperbole. It is the literal truth. All things work together for good to them that love God. When you love God, when you align yourself with the creative principle through assumption, all things in your universe conspire to externalize that assumption. People, circumstances, events, the entire fabric of your reality shifts to reflect your new state. This occurs because in truth, there is no out there separate from your consciousness. The world you perceive is your consciousness projected. Change your consciousness, and you change your world, not metaphorically, but actually. Many have experienced this phenomenon. They assumed a new state, perhaps of wealth, health, or love, and suddenly people began treating them differently. Opportunities appeared that had not been there before. Circumstances arranged themselves in ways that facilitated the manifestation of their desire. This is the cosmic response to Pianshin, the living proof in experience. I do not ask you to believe what I tell you tonight simply because I say it is so. I ask you to test it in the laboratory of your own life. For truth is not truth until it is proven in experience. Take a situation in your life that you wish to change. Perhaps it is financial lack, physical illness, or a troubled relationship. Now, clearly define what you would experience if this condition were transformed according to your desire. How would you feel? What would you see? What would you hear? What would you touch and taste? Having clearly defined this state, enter into it fully in your imagination. Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. See from this state, not looking at it as something distant or separate from you. Experience it as a present reality. Then go about your daily life, but maintain this assumption. Think and act from this new state. When doubts arise, as they inevitably will, gently return to your assumption. Persist until it feels natural, until it feels more real to you than the evidence of your senses. Then observe what happens in your world. Notice how people respond to you differently. Notice how circumstances begin to change. Notice how coincidences occur that move you toward the fulfillment of your desire. This will be your living proof of the power of assumption. The divine nature of man. Why does the law of assumption work? Because man in his true essence is divine. Know ye not that ye are gods? This statement from scripture is not blasphemy. It is the revelation of man's true identity. Your consciousness is God in action. Your I am is the same I am that spoke to Moses from the burning bush. I am that I am. This is the foundation of all creation, the eternal, unchanging reality behind all manifestation. When you say I am, you are invoking the creative power of the universe. And whatever you attach to that divine name becomes your experience. I am is the door through which your assumptions pass into expression. This is why assumption is so powerful. When you assume I am wealthy, I am healthy, I am loved, you are not merely engaging in positive thinking. You are actually appropriating the creative power that shapes worlds. You are exercising your divine prerogative as a son or daughter of God. The one consciousness. There is only one consciousness in the universe. This consciousness individualizes itself as the human imagination, but its essence remains undivided. I and my Father are one. Your consciousness and God's consciousness are one consciousness. This truth has profound implications for the law of assumption. It means that when you assume a state, you are not somehow manipulating external forces. You are aligning yourself with the one power that creates and sustains all things. Moreover, it means that what you assume for yourself affects the whole. No man is an island. Your consciousness is connected to all consciousness. When you elevate your own consciousness through assumption, you contribute to the elevation of all consciousness. This is why the practice of assumption is not selfish or self-centered, even when focused on personal desires. For as you transform yourself through assumption, you transform your world, and your world is part of the world of all beings. The end of manifestation. What is the ultimate purpose of the law of assumption? Is it merely to acquire material possessions, physical health, or harmonious relationships? These are worthy desires, and the law will bring them to you if you apply it correctly. But there is a higher purpose. The ultimate end of the law of assumption is the full realization of your divine nature. It is the complete awakening to who and what you really are. It is the resurrection from the grave of material consciousness into the light of spiritual consciousness. As you practice the law, you will discover that your desires change. That which once seemed so important may lose its appeal. You will find yourself naturally assuming states of higher consciousness, states of love, compassion, wisdom, and service. This transformation occurs because as you prove the law in experience, you come to know yourself as the operant power in your universe. And with this knowledge comes the responsibility to use your created consciousness for the highest good of all. The promise fulfilled. Scripture tells us, behold, I make all things new. This is the promise of the law of assumption. Through the conscious direction of your imagination, you can make all things new in your life. The past does not determine the future, except to the extent that you continue to assume the same states that created your past. Change your assumption and you change your future. It is as simple and as profound as that. Let the weak say, I am strong. This is not positive thinking. It is the revelation of a principle. When the weak man says, I am strong, and persists in that assumption until it feels natural, he will become strong. The assumption predates and determines the fact. Your life is the harvesting of assumptions previously planted. If you do not like what you are harvesting, plant new assumptions. Act as if you are already what you want to be, already have what you want to have. Feel the naturalness of it, the reality of it. And in the appointed hour, your assumption will blossom into fact. The pattern on the mount. In Scripture, we find the instruction, see that thou make all things according to the pattern showed to thee in the mount. The mount is the highest point of consciousness, the state of full awareness of your creative power. From this elevation, you are shown the pattern, the ideal state that you desire to manifest. This pattern is not something external to you, it is within your own consciousness. It is your conception of yourself as you would like to be. Make all things according to this pattern. Conform your thinking, your feeling, your actions to it. Let your entire being resonate with it. This is the essence of acting as if, seeing from the mountaintop, and bringing that vision into expression in the valley of manifestation. Those who have climbed this mount and seen the pattern have returned to transform the world. They are the artists, the inventors, the discoverers, the reformers, the visionaries who first imagined what could be, then acted as if it already were, until their assumption hardened into fact. You are called to join their ranks. You are called to ascend the mount of revelation, to see the pattern of your ideal life, and to make all things according to that pattern through the power of assumption. The silent prayer. As we draw to the close of our discussion tonight, I would like to share with you what I call the silent prayer. This is not an appeal to an external deity, but a recognition of your true identity and creative power. I am that I am. I am the Lord, and there is no other. I am the resurrection and the life. I am the way, the truth, and the life. I am the vine, and you are the branches. Repeat these statements slowly, feeling their truth, allowing them to sink deep into your consciousness. For these are not merely affirmations, they are the revelation of who you really are. When you say, I am that I am, you are acknowledging your oneness with the creative principle of the universe. You are accepting your divine heritage as a creator, as one who shapes reality through consciousness. This silent prayer, repeated with understanding and feeling, will gradually transform your entire being. It will awaken you to your true nature and purpose. It will reveal to you the limitless power that has been yours from the beginning. The final word. My beloved friends, the hour grows late, but the truth I have shared with you tonight is timeless. It has always been so, though hidden from those without eyes to see or ears to hear. You have been given the master key to life's mysteries, the law of assumption. With it, you can unlock any door, overcome any obstacle, fulfill any desire that springs from the depths of your being. Remember, assumption, though false, if persisted in, will harden into fact. This is the creative law of the universe, the process by which all that exists came into being. Go forth from this place transformed by what you've heard. Apply the law consciously and consistently in your life. Act as if you are already the person you wish to be. Assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Live from the end, not toward it. And as you do, you will discover the truth of the words. All things whatsoever ye shall ask in prayer, believing ye shall receive. For prayer is assumption, belief is the feeling of the wish fulfilled, and received is the inevitable manifestation of that which you have assumed. The choice is yours, the power is yours, the kingdom is yours. For the kingdom of heaven is within you. It is your own wonderful human imagination, awaiting your conscious direction. I leave you with this final thought. Man's chief delusion is his conviction that there are causes other than his own state of consciousness. Free yourself from this delusion, and you free yourself from all limitation. Act as if you already are what you wish to be, and that you shall be. This is the promise. This is the law. This is the truth that will set you free. The world is a mirror, forever reflecting what you are doing within yourself. As you assume, so shall your life become. This is the mystery and the wonder of existence. This is the art and science of conscious creation. This is the revelation of the ages, now delivered into your hands. Use it wisely. Use it lovingly. Use it now. And watch as the invisible becomes visible, as the ideal becomes actual, as the spiritual becomes material, as your assumption hardens into fact. For this is the divine art of manifestation, the sacred science of creation, the eternal process by which thought becomes thing and dreams become reality. And now, my friends, I release you to your divine destiny to act as if, to assume the best, to manifest your highest vision through the transformative power of assumption. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Go forth and be what you wish to be. Go forth and have what you wish to have. Go forth and experience what you wish to experience. For you are the resurrection and the life. You are the way, the truth, and the life. You are that which you are seeking. And in the conscious recognition of this eternal truth lies your freedom, your power, and your peace. Imagine, if you will, that your current reality is like a garment you wear. It may feel comfortable, familiar, even inevitable. But I assure you, it is no more permanent or real than the clothes on your back. You can change it, just as easily as you change your attire. The secret lies in your focus, in your ability to direct your attention and consciousness. As we step into 2025, I urge you to make a profound shift in your awareness. Instead of looking outward for validation, success, or happiness, turn your gaze inward. For it is within you that the true source of all creation lies. Your outer world is but a reflection of your inner state, a mirror of your consciousness. Now you might be wondering, Neville, how can focusing on myself change my reality? And therein lies the crux of our discussion today. Your consciousness, your awareness is the very substance of reality. When you change your concept of self, when you alter your inner world, the outer must conform to match this new inner conviction. You see, the world you experience is not happening to you. It is happening from you. Every circumstance, every event, every interaction in your life is a reflection of your inner state. These are not random occurrences, but the outpicturing of your assumptions, your beliefs, your focus. This is why many people find themselves stuck in patterns of lack, of struggle, of not enoughness. They have unknowingly been focusing on these very states, giving their attention to what they don't want rather than what they do want. They look to the outside world to dictate their inner state, not realizing that it works in precisely the opposite way. But here's the liberating truth. You have the power to choose where you place your focus. You have the ability to consciously direct your attention to cultivate a concept of self that aligns with your deepest desires. This, my friends, is the key to transforming your reality in 2025 and beyond. So how do we begin this process of focusing on ourselves? The first step is awareness. Become acutely conscious of where your attention currently resides. Notice how much of your mental energy is spent on external circumstances, on the opinions of others, on things beyond your control. Simply observing this without judgment is the first step towards change. Once you've become aware of your current focus, the next step is to consciously redirect it. This is where the real work begins. For the next year, I want you to make a commitment to focus primarily on your inner world, on your concept of self, on the person you wish to be. This doesn't mean you ignore your responsibilities or relationships. Rather, it means you approach them from a different perspective. Instead of allowing external circumstances to dictate your state of being, you choose your state first and then engage with the world from that chosen state. For example, if you desire success in your career, instead of focusing on the obstacles or competition, focus on embodying the state of a successful person. How would a highly successful individual in your field think? How would they carry themselves? How would they approach challenges? Assume this state in your imagination, feel its reality, and then act from this assumed state. Remember, it's not about pretending or faking it. It's about recognizing that the outer world is a reflection of your inner state. When you change your concept of self, when you focus on embodying the state of the person you wish to be, your outer world must reshape itself to match this new inner conviction. As you practice this new focus throughout 2025, you may find that your outer world begins to shift. Opportunities may arise that align with your new self-concept. People may respond to you differently. You may find yourself feeling more confident, more capable, more aligned with your desires. These changes may start small. A compliment from a colleague, a moment of unexpected clarity, a fortunate coincidence. Do not dismiss these as mere chance. They are the first fruits of your new focus taking root in the fertile soil of your consciousness. Now let us address a common challenge in this practice, the apparent contradictions of your senses. As you begin to focus on your desired self-concept, you may find that your current circumstances seem to contradict your new assumptions. How do you maintain your focus in the face of these seeming contradictions? This is where faith comes in. Not blind faith, but faith born of understanding. Understanding that your outer world is a reflection of your inner state. What you see around you is the result of past focus, past assumptions. It is like an echo of what you once believed. Your task now is to give more attention, more importance, more reality to your new concept of self than to these outdated circumstances. This practice requires mental discipline. It requires you to stand firm in your new assumptions, even when your senses argue against them. But remember, your senses only show you what has been, not what can be. Your imagination, informed by your new focus, shows you what will be. As you persist in maintaining this new focus on yourself, even in the face of contradictory evidence, you will begin to see changes in your outer world. These changes may start small, but they will grow. For you are planting new seeds in the garden of your mind, and these seeds must by natural law grow into the fruits of your new reality. Now let us delve deeper into the nature of this self-focus. When I speak of focusing on yourself, I am not referring merely to self-improvement or acquiring new skills, though these can be part of it. I am speaking of a deeper, more comprehensive form of self-awareness and self-creation. It involves the very way you perceive yourself, the stories you tell about who you are, and what is possible for you. For example, when you achieve a success, how do you interpret it? Do you see it as a fluke? Or do you recognize it as the natural expression of your innate abilities? When you face a challenge, do you see yourself as a victim of circumstance or as a creative force capable of finding solutions? These self-perceptions shape your reality. For the year 2025, I want you to consciously craft a concept of capability, of worthiness, of unlimited potential. See yourself as the person you aspire to be. Feel the reality of being that person. Live from that state of consciousness. If you desire financial abundance, see yourself as already wealthy. How would a wealthy person think? How would they approach decisions? Embody this in your consciousness. If you desire vibrant health, see yourself as the embodiment of vitality. How would such a person care for their body? How would they think about health and wellness? Let these thoughts inform your self-concept. Remember, this is not about denying your current reality. It's about choosing which aspect of reality you give your attention to. It's about focusing on the self you wish to be rather than the self you think you are based on past experiences. As you practice this new self-focus throughout 2025, you may find that your emotions begin to shift. You may feel more positive, more hopeful, more empowered. This emotional shift is crucial, for your emotions are the fuel that powers your manifestations. When you combine your new self-concept with positive emotions, you create a powerful vibration that attracts circumstances and experiences that match it. This is the law of attraction in action, but it goes beyond mere positive thinking. It is about aligning your entire being, your thoughts, your feelings, your very sense of self, with the reality you wish to create. Now, let us address another important aspect of this practice, persistence. Changing your focus, shifting your self-concept, is not a one-time event. It is an ongoing process, a new habit that you must cultivate throughout 2025. You must be vigilant. You must catch yourself when you slip into old patterns of thought and consciously choose to refocus on your desired self-concept. This persistence is crucial because your subconscious mind learns through repetition. The more consistently you focus on your desired self-concept, the more deeply it will be impressed upon your subconscious mind. And as these new patterns take root in your subconscious, they will begin to manifest in your outer world with increasing speed and ease. But what of those moments when doubt creeps in, when fear arises, when the old self-concept tries to reassert itself? These moments are inevitable, especially in the beginning of your practice. Do not be discouraged by them. Instead, see them as opportunities to strengthen your new self-concept. When doubt arises, do not fight it. Fighting against a thought only gives it more power. Instead, gently but firmly return to your new self-concept. Remind yourself that what you see around you is the past. Your new focus is creating your future. This brings us to another crucial aspect of this practice, the concept of living in the end. Living in the end means assuming the feeling of your wish fulfilled, of already being the person you aspire to be. It's not enough to think about your desired self-concept. You must live from it, feel it as a present reality. For example, instead of saying, I will be successful, say and feel, I am successful. Everything I touch prospers. Instead of saying, I will be healthy, say and feel, I am the embodiment of vibrant health and vitality. Speak and feel as if your desired self-concept is already realized, for in the realm of your imagination it is. This may feel strange at first, even false, but remember, you are not lying to yourself. You are choosing to focus on a different aspect of reality, the reality of your imagination, which is just as real, just as valid as the reality of your physical senses. As you practice living in the end, through your new self-concept, you may find that your actions naturally align with your new assumptions. You may find yourself making decisions, taking steps that move you closer to your desires. This alignment of inner state and outer action is powerful. It creates a momentum that propels you towards the realization of your goals. Now let us explore the role of gratitude in this process of self-focus. Gratitude is not just a pleasant emotion, it is a powerful creative force. When you feel grateful for your desired self-concept, as if it were already realized, you align yourself with the frequency of its fulfillment. Throughout 2025, make gratitude a central theme in your self-focus. Feel appreciation for the person you are becoming, for the opportunities that are unfolding, for the growth you are experiencing. Even if your current circumstances seem challenging, find aspects of your desired self to be grateful for. For gratitude, like your self-concept, shapes your perception and thus your reality. As you cultivate this attitude of gratitude in your self-focus, you may find that more things to be grateful for begin to appear in your life. This is not coincidence. It is the law of attraction at work, bringing you more of what you focus on and appreciate. Now let us address the importance of self-love in this practice of focusing on yourself. Many of us have a habit of harsh self-criticism, of focusing on our perceived flaws and shortcomings. For 2025, I challenge you to shift this focus. See yourself with the same love, the same compassion, the same unconditional acceptance that you would offer to someone you deeply care about. When you make a mistake, instead of berating yourself, focus on your capacity for growth and learning. Say to yourself, I am constantly evolving and improving. Every experience contributes to my growth. When you face a challenge, encourage yourself. Say, I have infinite resources within me. I am capable of overcoming any obstacle. This self-love is not selfishness. It is not ego. It is recognizing your own divine nature, your own inherent worthiness. And as you focus on yourself with love and respect, you will find that the world begins to reflect this back to you. For the world is yourself pushed out, and it can only give you what you give yourself in your own consciousness. As we continue our exploration of focusing on yourself in 2025, let us consider the power of your imagination. Your imagination is not a frivolous faculty for daydreaming. It is the very workshop in which you create your reality. When you imagine yourself as the person you wish to be, when you see yourself living the life you desire, you are experiencing that reality at the level of cause. Throughout 2025, I urge you to use your imagination deliberately and consistently. Set aside time each day to see yourself vividly as the person you aspire to be. Engage all your senses in this imaginative act. See yourself in detail, hear the congratulations and admiration of others. Feel the emotions of success and fulfillment. Make this imagined reality so vivid, so real, that when you open your eyes, you carry with you the conviction of its truth. Remember, to your subconscious mind, there is no difference between a vividly imagined experience and a physical one. By repeatedly imagining your desired self-concept, you are impressing it upon your subconscious mind as a reality. And your subconscious mind, being the faithful servant it is, will work tirelessly to bring this imagined reality into physical manifestation. Now, let's address the role of action in this process, self-focus. Some people strikingly focusing on themselves means they can simply imagine their desired reality and then sit back and wait for it to magically appear. This is not the case. Action is crucial, but it must be inspired action that flows naturally from your new self-concept. As you focus on embodying your desired state of being, you will find yourself naturally inspired to take actions that align with this new self. These actions will not feel forced or stressful. They will feel natural, even inevitable. For example, if your desired self-concept is that of a successful entrepreneur, you may find yourself naturally drawn to networking events, inspired to learn new business skills, or motivated to refine your product or service. These actions flow from your new self-concept rather than from a place of lack or struggle. This is a crucial distinction. When you take action from a place of lack, trying to get what you desire, you are actually affirming the assumption of not having it. But when you take action from the assumption of already being your desired self, you open yourself to infinite possibilities for its expression and expansion. So in 2025, do not neglect action, but ensure that your actions are aligned with and flowing from your new self-concept. Let your inner state guide your outer actions rather than hoping your actions will create your desired state of being. As we near the end of our discussion, let us reflect on the profound implications of this practice of focusing on yourself. By consciously choosing your self-concept, by directing your focus inward rather than outward, you are not just changing your thoughts or behaviors, you are reshaping your entire reality. You are stepping into your power as a creative being, as the author of your own life story. Remember, the world you see around you is not separate from you. It is the outpicturing of your consciousness, of your self-concept and beliefs. By changing how you see yourself, by focusing on the self you wish to be, you change the very foundation of your reality. So for 2025, be vigilant, be conscious, choose your self-concept with care and intention, focus on yourself with love, with encouragement, with faith in your own divine nature and limitless potential. See yourself as already being the person you aspire to be. And as you do this, watch how your perception begins to shift. Watch how opportunities begin to arise. Watch how your reality begins to reshape itself to match your new self-concept. For this is the law of your being. What you assume and feel to be true about yourself must be reflected in your outer world. But remember, this is not about forcing change through sheer will. It is about allowing change through alignment. Alignment of your thoughts, your feelings, your very sense of self with the reality you wish to create. It is about entering into the feeling of your wish fulfilled and allowing the universe to orchestrate the means of its realization. As you embark on this year of focusing on yourself, know that you are embarking on a journey of self-discovery and self-creation. You are stepping into your power as a conscious creator of reality. You are aligning yourself with the infinite creative power of the universe. And know this, 2025 is just the beginning. It is the seed from which a new way of being can grow. As you experience the power of focusing on yourself to shape your reality, you may find this practice naturally extending beyond the year. You may find it becoming a new way of life, a new way of relating to yourself and to the world around you. So go forth with this knowledge. Apply these principles in your daily life. Be aware of your self-concept, of where you place your focus, for it is shaping your reality in every moment. Choose it consciously, choose it wisely. See yourself with love, with faith, with the conviction that you are a divine being capable of creating any reality you can imagine.
And remember, persistence is key. The world you see around you is the result of habitual thoughts and self-concepts. As you persist in your new focus on yourself, as you consistently embody your desired state of being, your world must reshape itself to match this new inner reality.
You have within you the power to create the life you desire. You are limited only by your ability to imagine and to feel the reality of your desired self. Embrace this truth. Live from this understanding and watch as your world transforms around you, reflecting the newfound mastery of your creative consciousness. Thank you, and may your journey of self-focus in 2025 be filled with joy, wonder, and the thrill of manifesting your deepest desires. As we conclude, let us reflect on the transformative power of focusing on yourself. This practice is not about selfishness or isolation, but about recognizing that you are the center of your universe, the creator of your reality. By directing your attention inward, by consciously shaping your self-concept, you set in motion a chain of events that will reshape your entire world. Remember, every great change in the outer world begins with a change in your inner world. As you focus on embodying your desired state of being throughout 2025, you may face challenges and doubts. These are not obstacles, but opportunities to strengthen your new self-concept. Embrace them with the knowledge that each challenge overcome is a step closer to the full realization of your desired reality. In your journey of self-focus, be patient with yourself. Change does not always happen overnight. Just as the seed needs time to grow into a mighty tree, your new self-concept needs time to fully manifest in your outer world. Trust in the process, have faith in the law of your being, and know that as you persist in your new focus, your reality must conform to it. As you move through 2025, let every experience, every interaction, every moment be an opportunity to reinforce your new self-concept. See everything as a reflection of your inner state and use it to deepen your conviction in your desired reality. Remember, the outer world is not the cause of your experience, but the effect of your consciousness. In closing, I urge you to approach this practice of self-focus with joy and excitement. You are embarking on the greatest adventure possible, the journey of self-creation. Enjoy the process of becoming the person you aspire to be. Revel in the power of your imagination to shape your reality. Celebrate each manifestation, each synchronicity, as confirmation of your creative power. Go forth into 2025 with the knowledge that you are the author of your life story. Focus on writing a story of joy, of success, of fulfillment. For as you do, you not only transform your own life, but contribute to the elevation of all consciousness. Your self-realization is a gift to the world. May your focus in 2025 reveal to you the infinite potential that lies within you. And may you use this potential to create a life beyond your wildest dreams. Remember, the only limits that exist are those you accept in your own consciousness. So focus on transcending all limits, on embodying your highest self, and watch as your world transforms to reflect the magnificence of your true being. I will share with you the most effective technique I have ever discovered. A practice so transformative that when repeated faithfully, it rewrites the very fabric of your reality. The power lies not in the complexity of the method, but in the persistence and conviction with which you apply it. What I am about to tell you is not theory, but law. It is as immutable as gravity, as certain as the rising sun. When you truly grasp this principle and apply it with unwavering faith, your world will shift with such precision that you will stand in awe of your own creative power. The technique is this. Take your desire, your wish fulfilled, and repeat it to yourself as a present fact, not as something that will be, but as something that already is. 100 times each day, affirm your desire as an accomplished fact. But the crucial detail that most miss, it is not the mere repetition of words that de-age, but the feeling of naturalness that accompanies your declaration. Let me explain the profound mechanics at work here. Your consciousness, your I am, is God Himself individualized. When you declare a thing to be true while occupying the state of your wish fulfilled, you are engaging the very power that created the universe. This is not positive thinking. This is the activation of universal law. Consider this truth. Everything you now accept as reality was once merely a thought, an imagination. Your current circumstances, your relationships, your position in life, all were first conceived in imagination before they materialized in your world. The outer world is nothing more than a shadow, a reflection of your inner assumptions. When you repeat your desire 100 times daily, you are not engaging in mere affirmation. You are programming the depths of your subconscious mind. You are impressing upon the substance of creation itself the pattern of your desired reality. This is why the feeling is crucial. Each repetition must be accompanied by the feeling of naturalness, the feeling that your desire is already a fact. Let me share with you a secret about this practice that few understand. The number 100 is not arbitrary. It represents completeness, fullness, the totality of conviction. When you repeat your desire 100 times, you are symbolically declaring its completeness in your consciousness. You are filling every corner of your mind with the reality of your wish fulfilled. But remember this vital truth. The words themselves are merely vessels. They carry the feeling, the consciousness of your desire fulfilled. As you repeat your statement, you must feel the reality of it. If your desire is for financial abundance, you must feel the security, the freedom, the joy of that abundance. If your desire is for a loving relationship, you must feel the warmth, the companionship, the deep connection of that relationship. Many of you ask, but Neville, how can I feel something that isn't yet true? Here is the supreme secret. In the realm of consciousness, there is no yet. There is only an over. When you enter the state of consciousness where your desire dwells, you are actually entering the reality where it already exists. Your physical reality has no choice but to conform to this new state of consciousness. The universe you see is not outside of you. It is within you. It is your own wonderful human imagination externalized. When you repeat your desire 100 times with feeling, you are literally rearranging the universe, because you are rearranging your consciousness, and your consciousness is the universe. Let me give you a practical example. Suppose you desire a particular position in your company. Instead of saying, I want that position or I will get that position, you would declare, I am so grateful to be in my perfect position doing work I love. Repeat this 100 times daily, but, and this is crucial, feel the satisfaction, the fulfillment, the joy of actually occupying that position. As you do this, something remarkable begins to happen. The people around you will begin to respond differently. Opportunities will appear that weren't there before. Circumstances will arrange themselves in ways that support your new reality. This isn't coincidence or magic, it is law. Remember, the outer world has no choice but to reflect your inner convictions. Just as your reflection in a mirror must move as you move, your external reality must shift to match your internal state. This is why persistent repetition with feeling is so powerful. It creates an unshakable conviction in your consciousness. Now, some of you might be thinking, but I tried affirmations before, and they didn't work. The difference here lies in understanding that you are not trying to convince yourself of something. You are instead occupying a state of consciousness where your desire is already fulfilled. The repetition is not to convince, but to saturate your consciousness with the reality of your wish fulfilled. Think of it this way: when you wake up in the morning, you don't need to convince yourself that you are who you are. You simply know it. This is the kind of naturalness you must achieve with your desire. Through repeated occupation of the state of your wish fulfilled, it becomes just as natural as your own name. The universe responds not to your words, but to your state of consciousness. When you repeat your desire 100 times daily with feeling, you are systematically altering your state of consciousness. You are literally becoming the person who has what you desire. This is why the universe must rearrange itself. It is simply conforming to who you have become. Let me share another vital aspect of this practice. As you repeat your desire, you must exclude all contrary evidence from your physical senses. If your bank account shows lack, while you are declaring abundance, you must remain faithful to your inner conviction rather than the external fact. The external will change, it must change, but only after you have firmly established the new reality in your consciousness. This requires a level of mental discipline that few are willing to exercise. It is easy to accept what your senses show you. It takes spiritual maturity to remain faithful to your inner conviction despite contrary evidence. But this is precisely what separates those who manifest their desires from those who remain trapped in their current circumstances. Remember, every time you repeat your desire with feeling, you are dropping a seed into the fertile soil of your subconscious mind. Just as a farmer doesn't dig up his seeds every day to check their progress, you must not constantly check the external world for evidence of your manifestation. Plant your seed through repetition, water it with feeling, and trust in the law. The law operates with mathematical precision. Just as 2 plus 2 must equal 4, your consciousness may conceive through repetition must produce its equivalent in your outer world. This is not theory, this is law. I have tested it countless times in my own life and in the lives of thousands who have applied these principles. Consider this profound truth. Your consciousness is the only reality. Everything you see in the outer world is simply consciousness objectified. When you understand this, you realize that by changing your consciousness through persistent repetition of your desire, you are literally changing the only reality there is. This is why the universe must rearrange itself. It has no choice. It is not separate from you. It is you pushed out. Every person, every circumstance, every event in your world is simply your consciousness made visible. Change your consciousness through this practice of repetition with feeling, and you change everything. Now, let me address a question that often arises: how long must I continue this practice? The answer is, until your desire feels natural. Until it feels more real to you than the current facts of your life. For some, this might happen quickly. For others, it might take longer. The time required depends on your ability to remain faithful to your inner conviction. Remember, time is a human construct. In the realm of consciousness, where all creation takes place, there is no time. There is only the intensity of your conviction. This is why some desires manifest quickly while others take longer. The speed of manifestation is directly proportional to the completeness of your acceptance of your desire as fact. This is where the power of repeating your desire 100 times daily becomes evident. Each repetition, when done with feeling, deepens your conviction. It strengthens your acceptance of your desire as fact. It makes your new reality more and more natural to you until it becomes impossible for you to accept anything less. Let me share another crucial aspect of this practice. As you repeat your desire, you must also repeat the feeling of gratitude for its fulfillment. Gratitude is not merely a positive emotion. It is the acceptance of something as yours. When you feel grateful for something, you are acknowledging its presence in your life. This is why I often teach that the feeling of gratitude is one of the highest spiritual frequencies you can maintain. When you combine your repetition with genuine gratitude, you are not only declaring your desire as fact, you are accepting it as already yours. This combination is unbeatable in its manifestational power. Now let's address another vital point. As you practice this technique, you must guard your mental diet with the same care that you would guard your physical diet if you were training for an athletic event. Every thought that crosses your mind either supports or contradicts your desire. This is why the repetition must be consistent and why it must be done 100 times. The number 100 creates a momentum in your consciousness that helps override contrary thoughts and feelings. It builds a foundation of conviction so strong that casual negative thoughts cannot shake it. This is the power of persistence in consciousness. Consider how a river creates a canyon. It's not through occasional powerful surges, but through constant, persistent flow. This is how you must approach your practice. Each repetition is like a drop of water, seemingly insignificant on its own, but powerful enough to reshape reality when applied consistently. Your consciousness is like a garden, and your thoughts are the seeds you plant in it. When you repeat your desire 100 times daily with feeling, you are planting and nurturing the seeds of your future reality. Just as a garden doesn't spring up overnight, your manifestation may not appear instantly. But if you remain faithful to your practice, it must appear. This brings us to another crucial understanding. The law works with perfect precision, but it works according to its own timing. Your role is not to determine when or how your desire will manifest. Your role is simply to persist in the consciousness of your wish fulfilled through faithful repetition. Many fail in their manifestations because they try to dictate the how and when of their desire's fulfillment. This is a mistake. The how and when belong to the law. Your task is simply to persist in your new state of consciousness through regular, feeling-based repetition of your desire. Remember, the universe knows far more than your conscious mind about how to bring about your desire. It has access to infinite possibilities, infinite channels through which your good can come to you. By trying to dictate the how and when, you actually limit the channels through which your desire can manifest. This is why I emphasize feeling over forcing. When you repeat your desire 100 times daily with genuine feeling, you are allowing the infinite intelligence of the universe to arrange the perfect circumstances for your manifestation. You are surrendering the how and when while maintaining absolute faith in the what. Let me share something profound about this practice that few understand. When you repeat your desire with feeling, you are actually experiencing your future in the present moment. You are collapsing time. You are bringing the future into the now. This is why the universe must rearrange itself. You are creating a new pattern in the space-time itself. If you think about this, every moment of your life, you are in a particular state of consciousness. This state is made up of your beliefs, assumptions, and feelings about yourself and your world. When you deliberately enter and maintain a new state through conscious repetition of your desire, you are literally stepping into a new dimension of experience. This is not metaphorical, it is literal. Your consciousness is the substance of reality itself. When you change your consciousness through persistent repetition with feeling, you are literally rearranging the substance from which all things are made. This is why results must follow. It is law. Now, let me address something that often confuses people about this practice. Some believe that merely repeating words 100 times will bring about their desire. This is not the case. The words are simply tools to help you maintain the feeling of your wish fulfilled. It is the feeling that creates the reality. If you think of it this way, when you are in love, you don't need to convince yourself that you're in love. You simply feel it. This is the kind of naturalness you must achieve with your desire. The repetition is designed to help you maintain this feeling consistently until it becomes your dominant state of consciousness. This is why I emphasize that each repetition must be accompanied by feeling. Without feeling, words are empty shells. But when you combine repetition with genuine feeling, you are engaging the creative power of the universe itself. You are literally speaking your new reality into existence. Consider the biblical phrase, "In the beginning was the Word." This refers not to mere verbal expression, but to the creative power of consciousness itself. When you repeat your desire 100 times with feeling, you are engaging this same creative power. You are speaking your world into existence. This brings us to another crucial point: the importance of persistence. Some of you might begin this practice with enthusiasm, but abandon it when results don't appear immediately. This is a grave mistake. Remember, you are reprogramming your entire consciousness. This takes persistence and patience. Think of it like learning a new language. At first, it feels awkward and unnatural, but with persistent practice, it becomes second nature. The same is true with this practice. At first, your new state of consciousness might feel forced or fake, but with persistent repetition, it becomes your natural state of being. This is why the number 100 is so powerful. It represents complete dedication to your new state of consciousness. When you repeat your desire 100 times daily, you are declaring to the universe that you are absolutely committed to your new reality. This level of commitment always brings results. Remember, the universe is not testing you. It is simply responding to your consciousness with mathematical precision. When you maintain a consistent state of consciousness through persistent repetition with feeling, the universe has no choice but to reflect that consciousness back to you in physical form. Let me share another vital truth about this practice. As you repeat your desire, you must also be willing to let go of your old self-concept. You cannot hold on to who you were and simultaneously become who you desire to be. This is why the repetition must be accompanied by a willingness to change. Many of you hold on to your old stories, your old limitations, while trying to create something new. This is like trying to fill a cup that's already full. You must be willing to empty your cup, to let go of your old self-concept, to make room for your new reality. This is where the power of 100 repetitions becomes especially significant. Each repetition is like a chisel, slowly but surely reshaping your self-concept. With persistence, your new self-concept becomes more real to you than your old limitations. Consider this: every great achievement in human history began with a change in consciousness. The Wright brothers had to believe in the possibility of human flight before they could manifest it. Edison had to maintain the consciousness of success through thousands of failed attempts before manifesting the light bulb. Your desire, whatever it may be, follows the same law. Through persistent repetition with feeling, you are creating the consciousness of your desire fulfilled. And just as surely as the Wright brothers and Edison succeeded, your desire must manifest when you maintain the proper state of consciousness. This brings us to another crucial understanding: the importance of maintaining your new state of consciousness even when your senses deny it. This is where most people fail. They allow current circumstances to pull them out of their desired state of consciousness. Remember, your senses show you the world as it was, not as it will be. They show you the effects of your past thoughts and feelings, not the reality you are creating through current practice. This is why you must persist in your new state, regardless of appearance. When you repeat your desire 100 times daily with feeling, you are creating a new cause. The effect must follow, it is law. But you must give the law time to work. You must maintain your faith in the unseen reality you are creating through your consciousness. Think of it like planting a garden. You don't plant seeds one day and dig them up the next to see if they're growing. You trust in the law of growth. You know that if you've planted the seeds and provided the proper conditions, growth must occur. The same is true with your desire. Each repetition of your desire with feeling is like watering and nurturing your seed. You don't need to know how it will grow. You don't need to figure out the process. Your only task is to maintain the proper mental and emotional state through persistent repetition. This brings us to another vital truth: the importance of living from your desire rather than for it. When you repeat your desire 100 times daily with feeling, you are not trying to get something. You are acknowledging what is already yours in consciousness. This is a subtle but crucial distinction. Most people practice manifestation techniques from a state of wanting or needing. This actually pushes their desire away, because want and needing imply lack. When you live from your desire, when you repeat it as an accomplished fact, you are creating from a state of fulfillment. Consider this: when you have something, you don't spend time wanting it or figuring out how to get it. You simply enjoy having it. This is the state of consciousness you must achieve through your repetition practice. You must repeat your desire from a state of having, not wanting. This is why feeling is so crucial to this practice. When you combine repetition with the feeling of fulfillment, you are creating a new pattern in the universal substance. The feeling makes it real in consciousness, and what is real in consciousness must become real in experience. Let me tell you something profound about this practice that few truly understand. When you repeat your desire 100 times daily, you are actually engaged in a sacred ritual. You are performing what the ancients called true prayer. Prayer is not begging or pleading, it is the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Each repetition, when done with feeling, is like a drop of water filling the cup of your consciousness. When the cup is full, when your consciousness is saturated with the feeling of your wish fulfilled, manifestation must follow. This is not magic, this is law. Consider how a mother feels about her child. She doesn't need to convince herself of her love. She doesn't need to repeat affirmations about being a mother. She simply is a mother. And this state of consciousness creates her experience of motherhood. This is the kind of naturalness you must achieve with your desire. Through 100 daily repetitions with feeling, you are becoming the person who already has what you desire. You are not trying to get something. You are acknowledging what is already yours in the reality of consciousness. Remember this vital truth. The external world has no power to prevent your desire from manifesting when you maintain the proper state of consciousness. Your circumstances, no matter how challenging they may appear, are simply shadows of past thinking. They have no power except that which you give them through your attention. When you consistently repeat your desire 100 times daily with feeling, you are withdrawing power from your current circumstances and investing it in your new reality. You are literally shifting the balance of power in your consciousness. This is why persistence is so crucial. Each repetition builds momentum in your consciousness. Each feeling-filled declaration of your desire, as fact, moves you closer to the point where your new reality must externalize itself. Think of it like learning to play a musical instrument. At first it feels awkward and unnatural, but with persistent practice it becomes second nature. The same is true with this practice. At first your new state of consciousness might feel forced, but with faithful repetition, it becomes your natural state of being. Let me share one final truth about this practice. The power lies not in the words themselves, but in the state of consciousness they help you achieve and maintain. The words are like a ladder helping you reach a higher level of consciousness. Once you reach that level, you must live there. This is why I say to repeat your desire 100 times daily. This repetition helps you maintain your new state of consciousness until it becomes your natural state of being. And when this happens, when your desired state becomes your natural state, the universe has no choice but to conform to your consciousness. Remember, you are not trying to convince the universe to give you something. You are declaring what is already yours in consciousness. Through persistent repetition with feeling, you are making your desire so real in consciousness that it must manifest in experience. This is the law of consciousness, and it never fails. What you accept as true in consciousness must manifest in your world. This is why the universe rearranges itself to accommodate your picture of reality, because your consciousness is reality. Practice this technique faithfully. Repeat your desire 100 times daily with genuine feeling. Live from the state of your wish fulfilled. Do this and watch as the universe rearranges itself to match your new state of consciousness. For this is the law, and the law never fails.